If you're planning to travel abroad in search of greener pastures, or you live abroad and you're working so hard to ensure that your loved ones back home relocate for better opportunities, this story is for you.
Deborah and her husband has ruined our life. They've destroyed our lives, and they are moving freely. They are less bothered about what they did to us. All we want right now, all we are pleading for is justice and our money back, so that we can get our lives together.
What would you do if your dream of a better life abroad has turned into a nightmare? This is the story of a Cameroonian couple. Now, the shocking development in this whole episode is the fact that men of the Nigerian police force are aware of this sad development.
The Nigerian police force is not doing anything. They claim that they have been going to their address, they have been calling their numbers, and they are not accepting to come to the station. At this point now, we are frustrated. We really need justice and to also get a refund for the money they scammed us.
According to the Cameroonian couple, the whole deliberation with the travel agent known as Deborah, but popularly called Japamama on TikTok, started sometime in February 2025. But how this travel agent, Deborah, managed to convince this Cameroonian couple to part away with such a huge amount of money without delivering on their promises on two separate occasions, Marion has this to say.
My name is Tala Marion. I'm a Cameroonian.
You are wearing a nose mask. Why are you doing this?
Just for security purpose, with all these things that is going on, I'm just scared. I don't know who might be watching, and I feel like our life is not safe.
Okay, Marion, why have you decided to contact Oga Journalist for a story?
I'm a victim of traveling scam, and I saw your great work, so I decided to get to you.
Who is the travel agent that you are accusing of defrauding you?
Her real name is Deborah, but her TikTok handle is Japamama.
On this traveling processing, how much exactly is the money?
It's roughly 13 to 40 million naira.
So we need context now. What exactly happened? How do you got to know of this Japamama, Deborah?
I met her on TikTok last year, February 2025. She will post traveling programs and her reviews. So I got to her and we exchanged numbers via TikTok. After that, we kept on communicating. She did tell me the programs that she had, and the one that was convenient for me was Canada, because I wanted to relocate with my family. I'm married with a kid. She told me the whole package is $17,000. We need to give $7,000 when the visa comes out. We travel to Canada and then we pay the balance of $10,000, which will be deducted from our salary. We came into an agreement that I'll give her $500. When we get to Nigeria for our biometric, we'll give her the balance of $1,500, which we agreed. She gave us an account. So when I checked, the name did not tally. I now asked her, she said to me, because her account has a problem, so that's her husband's account. I said, okay, no problem. So I paid the first $500. After 2 days or 3 days or so, our work offer letter came out. She sent the offer letter to me. We saw some small errors that she said, no, we shouldn't bother. That's just an offer letter. That she's going to book an appointment for us to come to Abuja for biometric. She then booked an appointment for us. 3 days later, we got to Abuja. She gave us the appointment form. We went to VFS office in Abuja. We did our biometric. And after that, we had to pay her the balance of $1,500, making it $2,000. She said the program is going to last for 72 days after biometric, 72 days for her to deliver. So we headed back to Cameroon. On our way back to Cameroon, I was in communication with my junior brother. So I told him about it and he's also interested in Canada. Can the lady do it for him? I got to Madame Deborah. I explained to her and she said, okay, yes, she can do it. The program is still very much open. So she did ask for my brother's deposit. I told her that my brother is not around. He's in Europe already. So will it be okay for him to do his biometric in Europe? She said, yes, no problem.
What's the name of your brother?
Clinton. Madame Deborah agreed that we're going to pay $1,000 for him. When his offer letter comes out, he will give the balance of $500. And then when the visa comes out, he will make another payment of $5,000. Madame Deborah agreed that. He made the payment of $1,000, making it $3,000 giving her. When we go back to Cameroon, 3 days later, she sent Clinton's job offer letter and now forwarded it to him. So that was it about Clinton. We never heard anything again. 72 days came and passed. And I called her. So Madame Deborah, what was happening? She said to me, her boss has not called her yet, but let me hold on for her to reach out to her boss. She later on said, we should just be a little bit patient. I told her no. When this whole thing started, you said 72 days. I asked you if it's going to exceed 72 days and you said no. So what's then the problem? She said it's not the embassy or the consulate to make decisions. I explained to her how worried I am, that we've already, arranged our program in a certain way, knowing that maximum is 3 months for us to travel. What is the problem? She now said after our appointment, she had issue with the boss she's working for. She said some people did not pay, some people delayed to pay, and she and her boss quarreled. After the fight they had, the guy has been acting funny. I said that's not supposed to affect our program. She should try to get to him so that he can at least tell us what the situation is. If we have been granted the visa or it has been rejected, let's know, because we cannot just keep waiting for God knows when. He contacted me on the phone and told me about another program. If we can try that one, it's more faster. Since I've been calling her, disturbing her, that we really want to travel out. So I asked her, what does this one take? And moreover, this other one is pending. Now you're talking about another program. We don't have money to give you for deposit. She said, let's just hold on. Let her get to the lady. It's her new boss. Meaning that you have two boss. She said yes. I said, okay. She went to the person claiming that she spoke with the lady and got back to me and said, this one is Ireland. It's more faster. It's called Ireland Express. It takes 4 weeks for it to come out. So if we are interested, let's do this one. Then we'll travel. I'm like, okay, so what happens now if Canada comes out and Ireland also comes out? She said, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. I said to her, okay, no problem. Now that you've already started working with us, we have already given you deposit for Canada, hoping that we are not going to give you any money again until any visa that you're doing for us comes out. She said, oh no, it cannot be like that because she's working for two different people. We said, okay, let her give us a rundown of the program. She said, this one is 12,000 euros. We are going to make a payment of 2,500 euros. When the visa comes out, we'll pay the balance of 9,500.
Don't tell me you paid that money knowing fully well that the first application she was doing for you, you are yet to receive any outcome.
We did, sir.
When did you do so?
She assured us that once any of the visa come out, she's going to see how she can deduct whatever other amount for deposit we have paid from the one that did not work out. So we sent her the 2,500 euros for the Ireland. 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, up to 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I kept on asking her, Madam Debbie, what is the problem? She said that her boss told her that the consulate is not on seat, so we just have to hold on a little bit. For about 10 weeks, we kept on calling, like we were worried. She later on called us one morning and said, send our money for them to secure an appointment for us so that they can pay our visa fee and everything. So she said it's 750,000 per person. So I had to send my own. I sent my husband's own and my son's own. We sent that money to her. I waited for 3 days. She did not say anything. She did not send any appointment from nothing. I tried to get to her. She kept on telling me, just hold on. My boss said you should just be patient. Traveling is all about patience. So it got to about 2 weeks and I was so tired of her stories. So we quarreled and I told her, I said, look, all the money I have spent from Canada to this Ireland, I want my refund. I'm no longer interested in traveling to these places again through you. She said she has already paid the money. Money cannot be refunded. We quarreled until she had to block me for almost 1 week. Later, she now sent me a typed visa approval form with our names on it. We're almost about 7 of us, or how many of us? My name was the last. My husband's name was the second to the last. She said our Canada visa has been approved. On that form, when the visa was approved, it was approved since April. So she said we have to come to Nigeria to deposit our passports for visa stamping. And I said, okay, no problem. We did medicals in Cameroon. We did police clearance. She requested for all those things. We sent it to her. And she said she'll start coming to Nigeria. On our way to Nigeria, she sent me a text that her boss has changed because she quarreled with her boss since our program delayed. Her boss has said we will no longer give you the balance of $5,000 to make it $7,000 for us to travel and pay the rest in Canada. We are going to give him $7,000 before he will give us our passport request form for us to take to the embassy for it to be stamped. I said to her, Madam Debbie, I don't understand this thing that you're saying. She insisted that her boss is saying that he will not send the form. If we want him to send the form, let's give $3,000 first. That's 115. When he sends the form, on the day we are going to the embassy for our passports to be stamped, we need to give another $5,000 before we enter the VFS office to deposit our passport. I told her, no, we don't have that kind of money, and moreover, this thing like this, we only will pay any money after we get the visa stamped in our passport. She said, don't worry, just keep on coming. Come, when you get to Abuja, we'll sort this out. We got to Abuja that same morning. She said we should meet with her at the VFS office. When we got there, I now asked her, Madam Debbie, why is your boss complicating things? The program has already, first of all, delayed. So why is he now demanding for extra money? The initial agreement was we pay $7,000. We'll give you $2,000. When the visa comes out, we pay $5,000. When we travel, we'll pay the remaining balance in Canada. Why is he now saying we should give not longer $5,000? We have to pay him $7,000 added to the $2,000 we have paid, making it $9,000. And then when we get to Canada, we'll have to still work and they will be deducting our salary. I said, no, this is too much. We cannot accept it. She said her boss said if we don't have the money, we should leave it. She showed us the form. I said, okay, no problem. We're about to go us back to our hotel. Can you ask your boss to give us back the first $2,000 we paid? She said, let me hold on. Let her talk to her boss. She made a call. Later on came back and said, okay, her boss has agreed that we are going to give $1,500. Then we get into the VFS office, deposit our passport for it to be stamped. When we come outside, we should give the balance. We said to her, no, we are not doing that. We will only make payment once the visa is being stamped in our passport. We can give the $1,500 now. You hand us the form. You go into the VFS office, deposit the passport. When our passports have been stamped, we can now talk about the additional money he has added to whatever we agreed from the beginning. She said, oh, if she gives this form to us, we go into the embassy and deposit our passport. When we get our visa, how is she sure that we are going to call her to make the balance payment? And she now said, let's go to the nearest police station for us to sign an undertaking or an agreement that once we get our visa, their balance money will be paid. After asking her why we are to do this now, because all the other money we have been giving to you, we did not sign any agreement. We didn't go anywhere. Okay, if this will make you happy, let's go to the police station. She's the one who took us to the police station. We met with an officer there. There were almost about 3 of them in the office. After explaining our side of the story, she was there with her husband. The officer now asked her, why is your boss increasing the money that you people firstly mentioned to these people? And from the initial agreement, they were not supposed to give any money before they go in to stamp their passport. After that $2,000 had been paid, the next money that was supposed to be paid is when they get their visa. So why is your boss now changing things? So she said she doesn't know. The officer now advised that, okay, since this form is already like a visa, let's give the $1,500. We sign an agreement to pay the balance once the visa comes out. We said, okay, no problem, sir. They drafted an agreement. We now signed. They now carried us back to the VFS office, gave us the passport request form. We entered the embassy. When we got to the front desk, we handed the passport request form together with our passport. The agent there asked us, where did you get this form from? We said, it's our agent. Where is the agent? Outside. There's a problem with this form, but we don't want to be quick to judge. Can you please ask your agent to give you your RICC login details so that we'll help you to log in into your account and print out the form? Because this form is not looking like what it should look like. We don't want to be judgmental. We are just suspecting it could be printing error. So we now went outside. I called her. I said, please, can you talk to your boss to send us our RICC login details? Because this form that we printed is not looking good. She said, what's wrong with the form? She did call her boss and called us back and said, her boss said he cannot give the RICC login. The form that they have given us is okay for us to deposit with our passport. That other Nigerians, she even has about 3 other people that already deposited before us and they did not complain about their forms. So we said, okay, we went back in there to explain to those people at the front desk. They now told us, we are giving you this advice because we realize that you are not Nigerians. So go back, insist on your agent giving you that code. We went outside. She called her boss. The boss wasn't picking call anymore. She said, okay, go back to your hotel room. Tomorrow we'll try to sort it out. I'll speak with him throughout the night. We went back to our hotel room. The following morning, she resent the form to us and said, just go in front of the embassy. You have these printing places. Go there and print it out. Maybe they're going to do it better. We went there. We printed it out. We went into the embassy again. On getting there, we still met those 3 people. We showed them the form. They laughed. They said, but you people were here yesterday. We said, yes, sir. So the people there at the embassy said, look, okay, let's go beyond what we are supposed to do. This is out of our job. We are risking our job for you people. They showed us other forms that people had already passed earlier. That just compare both forms and use your brain to judge. After going through, we found a lot of errors in our own form. They said, okay, if you are not convinced enough, can you give us the form? Let's scan because it has a barcode. Let's scan and you people can see. They scanned, it did not read. And then they laughed. They now said, do you want to hear the truth? You people have been scammed. But if you insist on passing your passport, just know that your passport might never come back. And if it comes back, it's going to come back with a 10 years ban. They even went ahead to show us one other passport that came with a 10 years ban. So they said that's the reason why they're trying to help us. They said because we are foreigners and we need our passports to go back to our country. They know we cannot leave Nigeria without our passport. That's why they are doing that for us. That if it were to be in Nigeria, they will just collect and they will not say anything. We went out and I called her. She had told me the previous day that she did not send the $1,500 that her boss requested for. It's still with her. So immediately we left the embassy and I called her, explained everything that happened. She went online herself. She tried to verify and realized that the phone was fake. So I now said, okay, please, can you send me your address? I would like to come to your house. So first of all, collect the first $1,500 we've given you. And then let's see on how we are getting the remaining money that we already paid. She said, let's just leave it. Tomorrow we'll meet at the same police station that she took us to. We said, okay. We went back to our hotel room. The following morning, she told us that she's on her way to the police station. Before we could book a board to get there, she already texted us that she has left the place. She's in one other place like that. She sent us the location. My husband and I went there. We met with her. She said she has already actually gone to give a complaint about her boss. She started explaining further to us about the boss. She has never met the boss. And so I said, Madam Debbie, that is not my problem. My problem now is, please, first of all, hand back the $1,500 we gave you yesterday. And then secondly, tell your boss that we need a refund for the $3,000 that we've paid. She said she's very sorry. The $1,500 we gave her yesterday, she has used to open the case file concerning her boss. Or she has written a petition against her boss.
She wrote a petition where?
At the police station she took us to the previous day to sign an agreement.
So she's telling you indirectly that she expended $1,500 just because she petitioned her boss that you've never met.
Yes, that's what she claimed. And we were like, Madam Debbie, why would you do that? It's like you realizing that we have an injury and you're adding salt to it. It is not our money that you're supposed to use. If I told you had to write a petition against your boss, because we need that money. That's the money that we have to use to go back to Cameroon.
Why didn't you take the step of reporting the case to the police on the suspected case of fraud, especially when it has been established to you people?
We're scared that if we go to that same police station, we are not certain that they'll handle the case correctly since we are foreigners. So the aim there was getting that one first and then getting someone who will help us, get a good police officer that will handle the case. So after leaving there, she assured us she was going to give us the money in 3 days or 4 days. After that day, we kept on calling and calling and calling. She would give us fake promises and we're trying to sell our properties. To give us our money, now you have to sell your properties. We should just hold on. The stories upon stories, and we could no longer take it. So my husband has this Nigerian friend. He now explained to him that this is what has happened. The guy is a police officer. He said, I'm going to give you a colleague's number. That's not my department. That was when they gave us the officer's number. We went there, we explained everything to them, showed them all the evidence and everything.
The officer that you were introduced to, where is that officer operating from?
Nigerian Police Force, that office at the Scorpion Department near GT Bank.
Scorpion Department, SWAT office, Abuja-based. If you know the area, do you know the name of the officer you are dealing with?
I know the officer's name, Mr. OK Samuel.
Okay.
When we got there, we did explain to them we've been a victim of traveling fraud. We've been scammed. And we showed them all the proof. We explained everything to them. They now sent us to meet. They said someone who is going to write the petition for us. It's like a lawyer in their department. We went there, we explained everything, and he was writing. They now said, do we have Deborah's number? We said yes. We gave her number. They now told us for them to come to the station to explain to them. So we went back to the hotel. After about 3 days, they called us back. They said they have been trying to get to Deborah. She's not agreeing to come to the station. Do we know where they live? We said yes. We now took the officer and 2 other officers to their house, and they met her there, took her back to the station. All of us went to the station, and then they gave her the petition to read. She went through it. They asked her if she has anything to say. She said no, everything we wrote there is correct. Her husband took him because he heard that they took his wife. After all being said and done, they took us to their main boss. Their main boss got so angry and requested that they lock them up because she was claiming that she actually collected the money from us, but she did not eat the money. She has a boss. If her boss says collect 1,000 naira, she will collect whatever money her boss has demanded for, and she sends it to her boss. She doesn't eat anything from there. So it's now that she's discovering that her boss used her to scam people. She said she has never met with the man. The man is not in Nigeria, but he's a Nigerian. She tried to give one foreign number like that. They said, no, that's not our business. You're the one who collected money from these people. You promised them Canada visa. You did not give them the visa. Give them a fake Canada form. What if they went there and they were arrested? And then you promised an Ireland visa. You did not give them the visa. And you said your 2 bosses scammed you or used you to scam people. The officer said that you know about this money. You and your family people are living a good life from people's pocket. He got angry and said both of them should be locked up until they are willing to pay half of the money, and they will go into a payment plan for the rest of the money to be paid.
Now, at that point, how much was the total money that you had paid them?
In total, it should be about 12,526,000 naira.
So now, how much did that officer, who is the head, how much did he told them to pay upfront before you now go on the payment plan to offset the remaining money?
He said they are going to give 10 million naira, and they will go into a payment plan for how the balance will be paid.
Okay, so what happened?
So they were there for 5 days. The officer now called us, told us one day to come to his office. We went there. We met one lawyer and a guy. They said to us, this lawyer is their family, a friend, and this is their husband's childhood friend. So they called us at the side. They said we should go and talk and try to arrange. Whatever we agree, we come back to them and relate it to them. We went outside to have a conversation, and they were like, they are not really happy with what Sylvester and his wife, Deborah, did to us. They feel so disappointed, and they are humans too like us. So they said they have tried to run around around to see how they can raise money, but they were only able to raise 2.5 million naira. So they want to plead with us that keeping Deborah and her husband in the police cell will not give us the money that we want them to pay, that we should collect the 2.5 million so that they can be released, and so that they will go out there and try to raise the balance. My husband said to them, no, let them meet up with the demand that the senior officer had said that they should meet up with. Later, his uncle came. He's also a police officer, from what I heard. His uncle now pleaded that, okay, he is able to have added some money to what the lawyer and Sylvester's friend brought earlier, the 2.5 million. So they have made it 5 million. They want to beg us that we should agree for them to be released. And then when they go out there, they're going to see how they can pay us back the other money in no time. We said, no, this is not convincing enough. The main officer said 10 million. So if you're giving us 5 million now, it means you're going to give us another 5 million in a week. Is it okay for you to come and give us another 5 million in a week to make it 10 million? Then we can go now on a payment plan for the balance. They are not able to assure us that until maybe Sylvester, the husband to Deborah, comes and speak for himself, since it was his account that the money entered into.
During this period, why didn't you go back to the overall boss that gave that directive that it is until they pay 10 million naira before any of them will be released?
We couldn't go there because there's no way to get access to him except an officer will take you there. And they said, no, it's not possible. We can only deal with them, and they are the ones who relate it to him. Whatever we decide now, they will now take it to him and relate it.
What was your agreement when the husband spoke for himself?
You know, since we are foreigners, we're scared. We saw the way everything was going. We wanted to insist on getting the 10 million first. Mr. Okay Samuel told us at the side that just first of all take this one, and then you can now agree on the balance. We said okay. Inside the office there, they paid us 5 million naira. They agreed there. We also have it written down that they are going to give us another 5 million naira in a week time. In a week after they've paid that 5 million, they will now go on a payment plan on the balance, which we agreed. They came, they paid, and they did everything. They now took us to the main boss. That was when we explained to the main boss that this is what these people have said. The boss said, if it is okay with us, it's fine. So we said, okay, sir. He signed their bail, and they went home. Somebody stood as a guarantor or as a surety for them to be released. If the police is not able to get them, they should hold him responsible for it. Even his uncle also said anytime they want Sylvester and his wife, they should call him. He will bring them there. We stayed for 1 week, nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. 3 weeks, nothing. When we keep on calling the officer in charge of this whole thing, Mr. Okay Samuel, officer said they are not able to reach out to Sylvester and his wife. We said, but how? These people have a contact, and the contact is very much active. Until it got to a point we could no longer take it. We kept on going to the SAS office, and they'll tell us there's no point coming here because we're trying to get them. We're not able to get them. And now I now told them, Mr. Okay Samuel, said, but sir, there is someone who stood as a guarantor for these people to be released. Moreover, his uncle also gave his number to you people, and he told you, anytime you want my nephew, let me know, I'll bring him here. What is now the problem? This is already 1 month plus. They said we should just give them time. They are trying to sort out things. We said, okay, no problem.
Did you call them directly?
Yes, they did not pick up their calls.
Deborah and her husband?
Yes, they didn't pick up. They locked them up on the 10th of September. They were released on the 15th of September, 2025. October, nothing. November, nothing. December, nothing. Oh, the only thing they told us this December was they went to their address and they were told by their neighbors that they have not been around for 2 weeks and more. So it is difficult for them to be arrested. And I wonder how someone who has a number, people who stood as guarantor for them to be released, were unable to be arrested.
So
and
what are you suspecting?
I personally think that the police might have been compromised.
Why do you think so?
Because at the beginning, everything was working fine. When we met them, it did not take almost about a week for them to be arrested. It's because of the way they handled the case after Sylvester and his wife were released. They have not been able to give us any information about them. They have not been able to get through to them for months now.
Okay, so what exactly do you want now?
All right, I'm pleading with Nigerians to help me because Madame Deborah and her husband, they have frustrated us. We are stuck in Nigeria. They frustrated us, collected all our money. We even sold properties. So we just want for the public to be able to help us, for us to regain back our money, whatever amount we've given to Debbie and her husband, and let the police do their job.
Okay, and what do you want the Inspector General of Police to do?
To find out why they are unable to get to Madame Deborah and her husband Sylvester, even their shorties, Mr. Sylvester's uncle and Sylvester's friend who stood there for them to be released.
Am I speaking with Mr. Sylvester Esso-Nmakwe?
Yes.
Okay, well done, sir. How is your day going, sir? Fine. I'm fine. My name is Deji Lambo. I am a journalist. I'm calling in respect of Mrs. Tala Marion and her husband, Ronald Efanga. They said they gave you and your wife, Deborah Esso-Nmakwe, aka Japamama, between 13 to 14 million naira to help them process a work visa to Canada. And that after paying, that they did not get the desired results. They are alleging being defrauded, and they said they got fake documents that was confirmed when they went to submit their passport for stamping. So they said the police have been involved. They arrested you and your wife, and that after the arrest, you people paid 5 million naira with the promise of offsetting the remaining money. And since then, they've not heard from you. They said you've been ignoring police invitation after that. So
we have ignored any police invitations since then. But continue.
Yeah, but during that time, after the arrest by the police, they said they detained you for a few days and you people paid 5 million naira, and you were supposed to pay another 5 million naira in 1 week. Then you will go on a sharing formula to offset the remaining bill. That since you people paid the 5 million naira, they've not heard anything from you. So I'm reaching out to you to state your side of the story, because they claim that they paid all the own money into your own account that your own wife, Japamama, provided. So what happened from your end?
So my wife informed me, she got in contact with a friend of ours, after a long time, and after catching up, this individual now told my wife that they help people get travel visas to different countries.
What's the name of this individual?
What's his name? I think Anthony. So he pitched the idea that, since my wife is growing a TikTok account, that they could have a business agreement where my wife will procure clients and then he will be the one to process the visa for these individuals. I think that was when my wife asked to confirm documents that shows that you've done something like this to these individuals for other people. So he provided 1 or 2 documents. He provided an image, some images, some pictures. Provided, I think, a video or so of 1 or 2 individuals that he has helped procure travel visas for. That was how my wife got into the whole business thing. Now, I think around January or February, my wife then told me that she's gotten a few clients, right, that she has referred to this guy. So I asked her, did she tell these individuals now that, see, I'm not the one doing this thing, no, right? I'm more or less like a middleman between the individuals that are looking for the travel visas and the person that is doing the travel visa himself.
The Anthony.
Right? Yes, the Anthony guy. And she was like, yes, she did mention that to them. This Marion and Ronald individual. So they know it's not something that is hidden. They know the money had to go through my account, right? And the reason why the money had to go through my account was because the details on my wife's bank account does not match the details on her ID card. As a result, she's restricted to transactions of about, I think, 200,000 naira a day. With that now, if she would need to do a transaction of over 1 million naira, it would take her 5 days. And that was the reason why, the money could not go through her account. So I was like, okay, let me help out now. My accounts are okay. So they spoke with me and I said, okay, that they can send it to this account and I will send it to the individual. My wife told them that she is not the one that is doing it. Everything she's doing has to go through her to the person that is actually doing it.
They mentioned that part, that what she told them was that she is doing it through her boss.
That's what they told you, right? And I'm telling you what, like I said, there's proof. If they really have proof of it, when the time comes, they will prove it. Like I said, there's chat evidence of this.
Can I ask you this question?
Yes.
You presented an opportunity for 2 Cameroonian couple to travel to Canada and gave them charges. And you yourself or your wife, Japamama, went ahead to have a deal with a particular person that you are introducing to be Anthony. And in the course of the whole dealings, they realized that the documents that were provided were fake documents and that the delivery time had elapsed and they did not get value for what they paid for. So on the basis of what's manifested, who is to be at fault? Is it the Cameroonians that paid your wife, Japamama? Are they the ones to be at fault for all that transpired as a result of the business arrangements between your wife, you by extension, and the Cameroonian couple?
I can't say they are at fault. And for the very same reason why I can't say they, the Cameroonians, are at fault, is the exact same reason why I can't say my wife is at fault. Whatever it is that you want to say happened to the Cameroonians is the exact same thing that happened to my wife. So this is not a case of my wife scammed them. My wife was transparent by going with them whenever they went to go submit any document, right? Okay. If there was any intent to scam them to begin with, the very first thing a scammer would do is being anonymous. There was nothing anonymous about what my wife did. So there was no part where my wife attempted to or wanted to scam them. After they and my wife together found out that the documents were fake, right? I, in good faith, told them that I will sell my car. I will give you this money, right? The remaining money, my rent is due in a month's time. I will pay the rent. After I pay the rent, the remaining money I'm left with, I'm going to use it to go after this guy.
Another thing I want you to also help me clarify is the fact that prior to them discovering that the documents that your wife provided to them, that those documents were fake. You know, they said they went to where they went to do their passport
to VFS office,
to VFS office, and it was there that they told them that all those documents were fake. They said before that day or that very day that they paid, I think, 1,500 euro into your account. And when they discovered through the intervention of those at the VFS office in Abuja that the documents were fake, they asked your wife to refund them the 1,500 euro that they paid into your account, which was not even up to a day. And the information they said your wife passed across to them was that she had used the 1,500 euro to go and file a petition against the so-called boss, which you are saying is Anthony at the police force. How true is that claim?
I don't remember that particular conversation where my wife told them that we used the money to file a petition.
But you remember them requesting for the refund of that 1,500 euro.
Yes.
So why was it not paid them? Why didn't you pay them the money?
Because it was not available then. And that was the reason why I said I was going to sell my car to give them back that money. Initially, I tried to make a call to one or two individuals to see if I could procure that money, right, to send to them there and then. Primarily because of the impromptuness of, the request, I wasn't able to procure the money. And that's when I put it in my mind that, okay, what I'm going to do is to sell my car, right? When I sell the car, I'll give you the money. I would have loved to give you guys more money, but my rent is going to be due in like a month's time. So I need to cover my rent. Then after I cover my rent, then the remaining money is what I'm going to use to go after this guy. Because that was what I told them.
Okay, now, so that very time, from what I just want to be sure if I'm in line with what you're saying. So that very time, from what you just analyzed, you didn't give them any money. Is that correct?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, when they now involved the police and you and your wife were arrested, because from what they said they detained you people for a few days. Now, they said your friend and your uncle, who happens to be a policeman, also came, and through their intervention, they said they were able to raise 5 million naira, because from the instruction of the police, you pay 10 million naira first before you now go on an agreement to offset the remaining payment. But through the intervention of your uncle and your friend, the couple were able to get 5 million naira. Is that correct, please?
Not entirely correct. Now, let me explain how that is not entirely correct.
Okay.
Now, the 10th of September, which was on a Wednesday, my wife called me to tell me that SARS invited her to their office. I said, was it an arrest? They said, no, that they said their boss wanted to see her. I said, okay, fine now, she can go. She went there. I then went there to know what was happening, explain everything and all. On getting there, I was on the call with my dad at that time. The IPO then started shouting that I should give him my phone. I said, for what? Why am I giving you my phone? Right? We went back and forth with that thing. At the end of the day, one of his colleagues was like, I should just calm down. I said, okay. They brought a petition and then they handed the petition to me. In the petition, it stated something about collecting money under false pretense, criminal intimidation, and attempt to kidnap. So I got angry and I said, what do you mean by attempt to kidnap? How did kidnapping come in this case now? So they said I should sit down. I sat down there. They kept me there from around 2 till around 5-6 in the evening. 5-6 in the evening, they called the Cameroonians to come in. They called my wife and myself to come in. We started discussing the matter. They asked the Cameroonians what happened. They asked my wife, okay, tell your own story. My wife explained everything that happened. She doesn't even get to complete what she was saying. They were like, okay, just write your statement. My wife wrote the statement and then they asked, oh, okay, so the money, how did it go? I said, oh, the money had to go through my account. And they're like, oh, okay, so you're a part of this, right? Oh, they said I should write my own statement. I said, okay, that's fine. I wrote the statement. After I wrote my statement, I said, what next? They said I should come with them. They took us to their commander's office. Commander asked the same questions. My wife explained, they explained. The next thing they stamped and said they should detain the both of us. They detained us for 5 good days. No food, no water, nothing. On the 5th day, on my way inside the cell there, I had to call my friend. I said, I was going to sell that car before this thing happened. Please help me sell the car, right? And then come with that for 1,500. That was about 2 million naira or so, right? So that we can give it to these people. We'll be here for 5 days. My children have been left on, and they're 2 years and 4 years old children staying alone in the house. My young sister was one I was looking after, the 10-year-old girl. Now, around 10 o'clock that that afternoon, I was called out of the cell. Like my friend come and said that they said that to me, they're not collecting 2 million, that I should bring a minimum of 10 million naira. I said, how? From where? Why am I giving you 10 million naira? What did I do that I'm giving you 10 million naira? I thought the 2 million naira was the cause of this whole problem.
I don't understand that part. The 2 million naira was the cause of this whole problem. Are you saying they didn't pay over 30 million naira into your account, the Cameroonian couple?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so why are you now saying 2 million naira is the whole problem?
I assume that they were being impatient. They could not wait again. I mean, they waited about a week or so.
They could not wait for what exactly?
For me to procure the money, the $1,500, like I told them I was going to sell my car to give them.
Okay, so you are saying that the moment you give them that 1,500, is it dollars or euro that they said that the moment you provide that, they should just go back home?
No, the moment I provided that money, the next move now was to see how we can apprehend this guy so that we can start recovering the money. Because I personally, I don't have any. The fact that I want to sell my car doesn't tell you that I don't have any money on me.
Okay, so now the fact that the police were involved, and based on the fact that you and your wife are defaulted in the time specified for delivery, and the fact that they were able to get the information that the documents that your wife provided was fake, because as far as they are concerned, your wife was the one providing them all the documents. They did not at any point in time had any discussion with the so-called boss or the Anthony that you said is the same boss that your wife was referring to. They never had anything to do with them. So from their own understanding, they were dealing directly with you and your wife because they paid the money into it. It would have been a different case if maybe during the whole deliberation, your wife provided the account number of maybe Anthony or the boss. They dealt with you. Your wife provided the documents that they said happens to be fake. And the right thing that needed to be done, it is not out of range for them to have approached the police to intervene in the matter. You get what I'm saying? So the police are saddled with that responsibility to do their own investigation. And if on the merits, hold on please, and if on the merits of the information that the Cameroonian couple, Marion and Ronald, and you and your wife provided, you understand, whatever investigation they are carrying out, they are the ones saddled with that responsibility. So, but where I'm going is this, because I was just trying to give a summary, but you wanted to give that background, and I understand it and I've heard you. But where I'm going is, at the end of the day, before you people were released on bail, how much did you pay?
We paid 5 million.
Now, before the couple agreed to collect that 5 million naira, what was the agreement between you and them and the police?
The agreement was that I'll pay 1 million naira every month until the money was completed.
Okay, so according to the couple, what they said was that contrary to the 10 million naira that the overall boss at that particular police unit mandated that you people must pay before they release you, they said when your friend and your uncle and you, when you people had the meeting, they appealed that you people need to be out, that is you and your wife, to go and hustle for the remaining money, that they should collect the 5 million naira, and that you are going to provide another 5 million naira in 1 week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. So now, were you able to provide the 5 million naira in that?
No, I wasn't.
Now, and after if you had provided that 5 million naira, what they said was that then you now go on a monthly arrangement to offset the remaining money. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. So now, since then, all these things happened sometime in September 2025. Now, this is March 2026. They are saying that the police are claiming that they've reached out to you to come and honor the terms of your agreement, that since then you people have been ignoring them, you've not been coming. Maybe that's what the police are telling them. What I'm asking you now is what happened from your own hand, and why are you yet to honor the terms of that agreement?
So I lost my source of income 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken now. So I don't have a stable source of income. And for that reason, I'm not able to raise a significant amount to send to them, not just them or any other person. On 3 occasions between September and December, I have gone to the station there to meet with the police officers, the IPO in particular, to reason with him.
Is it Mr. Kingsley or Mr. Okay?
Mr. Kingsley.
Okay.
To reason with him that, I'm not able to raise this money. It's not easy at all. I'm running around to see how I can raise this money, but I'm not able to. He said, and I quote, that is not their business. It doesn't concern them. That is the job of the police to recover the money. That is their own work. They don't care how I go about it.
In a nutshell, from what you've been saying, ever since the both of you were released by the police, since then, from what you are saying, you are yet to pay any money. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, did you supply any proof of payment payments from your own account to the account of Anthony to the police?
They did not request for anything in that regard. We tried to bring that up. Like I said, there was no investigation.
You know, the reality on ground is that there's no way you want to argue it. This couple, the Cameroonians, all their dealings was between you and your wife. As far as this case is concerned, you are saying that your wife had mentioned to them that she is involving a third party, and that third party, they just said she's saying the third party is their boss. But the reality, all that we have been discussing indicates that the documents, all the money went into your account and your wife provided the account, and the documents that happens to be fake was provided by your wife. So it is you people that know that, okay, I had dealings with so and so person. So me, I'm just asking you now that, can we get a number to contact Anthony?
Oh yes, I can give you the number, but I will need to ask the EFCC. Like I said, the matter was reported to the EFCC.
Is there any proof? Can you send us the proof of the transfer of money to Anthony?
Yes, I'll send it to you now. Is this your WhatsApp? Stay on the line. I'll send it to you now.
This is my WhatsApp number.
Okay, I'm sending it to you now.
Okay. When did you people petition the EFCC regarding this case?
I think around October.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay, so since October last year till this very moment, what's the progress concerning the investigation?
We've adopted the petition. The matter is currently being investigated. They've not given us any updates yet.